Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Harihi Om.
That which we call the outer world is perfect. This which we call the inner world is perfect. Each one filled with divine consciousness. Perfect comes from perfect. Take perfect from perfect. The remainder is perfect. Divine consciousness is non-dual. Anything that emerges from the divine consciousness is whole, is complete, is Purna. May peace and peace and peace be everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Purnamadah. So it gives me great pleasure here to be on the show, which is season 5, episode 5, with our favorite mentor, Dr. Trupti Jayin, and I am Abhilasha hosting this show for you. And today's episode, we have someone who is not from India. She has been abroad. Before marriage, she was in London. Post marriage, she went off to Australia. And since 2008, she has been in Australia. So with us, we have Miss Jaswinder. And Jaswinder stays in Sydney with her family and her two beautiful little kids. And a little about Jaswinder. Okay, she's working in Australia as a Centrelink worker, helping people understand their rights in Australia. And apart from that, her healing journey or her journey towards spirituality starts because she is also into Reiki practices, and her seek for past life started long back. And for that, she had been going to different mentors. She had seen her answers, but then that little yearning कि मुझे और जानना है, वो जो सोच सच की तलाश और कुछ जानने की तलाश जो थी, that got her to Dr. Tripti Jain in her 8 days workshop, and that is where she got her answers. So today, let's hear it from Jaswinder and her story unravel through her only. So hi Jaswinder, welcome to Purnamadah.
Hi,
And
Jaswinder. Welcome. Namaste. It's a
Namaste, ma'am.
pleasure.
Namaste, Abhilasha ji. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to come to your show. Thank you so much.
It's a complete pleasure for me and Abhilasha. Abhilasha और मैं हमेशा we are always interested in listening to past life experiences of people. So that's the reason we invited you. And also I was keen that viewers understand that you attended the online program and you attended it way away from India. You attended it from Australia, and also the timing at which you logged in to attend the program was in the night at 11:30. So I think that is I think we want to know कि 11:30 रात को ऑस्ट्रेलिया टाइम पे आपने लॉग इन किया, पूरा दिन आप बिजी रहती है बच्चों के साथ, ऑल्सो वर्क. So, how did you feel? I mean, the attention span, concentration, the various kind of meditations. Did you have any problems?
Not at all. Not at all. So what I did when I was when I knew the time was going to start, when I had to start the show, so what I was doing, I was starting to take coffee. So I
Okay.
used to drink like 3, 4 coffees before it started, and within the course as well, I was taking two,
Mm.
3 coffees. So kind of 5, 6 coffees
Okay.
was taking just to give me energy so that I can stay awake, because
Mm.
it was long 8 days in a row,
Mm.
except weekends. So I was, of course, I was tired coming back from work and then looking after kids and cooking dinner and then sitting for this show, this course.
Yeah.
So that's how I was getting energy from coffee. But it was amazing experience. It was an amazing experience for me, and I loved it. And I wanted to do it, so I did it.
Yeah, I think intention matters a lot.
Does.
है ना, आपके पास intention है, मुझे करना ही है, तो किसी भी तरह से you'll find out a way and you'll definitely do it. Wow, Jaswinder. So, please.
Uh, so if I go back to when I was 3 years old, my struggle started from that time. My dad went to UK for, because financially we were struggling, so my dad had to take a big decision. He went to UK, leaving family in India. So I was only 3 years old. Since then, we missed every single milestone. My dad missed every single milestone. So us, when we were in university or schools and everywhere, we were just missing dad. And I had always had a question: why it's us? Why it's our family struggling without dad? Why don't we have money? Why are we struggling with money? So I had all those questions. And I have always seen my mom going to Gurudwara Sahib all the time, doing part, puja, and all that. But I was asking question, Mom, why you are doing so much part, but why dad is not coming back? And that was a time, 1983, 84. There were no phone calls, nothing. So we used to exchange letters. It used to
Mm.
take like 15 days to get one letter. So I had so many questions that, Mom, you are doing part, but dad is not coming back. We cannot see him. Of course he is helping us financially, I know he's giving us so much money, but he's not there, we need him.
Mm.
And my mom always encouraged us that if you are studying, if you are going to good school, if you are getting qualification, it's all because of him, so we should appreciate that. But I wasn't that in condition, I wasn't appreciating that we are getting help. I was like, no, I need my dad. So
Mm.
I used to cry and all that. So basically struggle started from there.
Mm.
And first time when I saw my dad was in 1995. So I was born in 1981. So that time when he surprised us coming, when he came back home, he surprised us. He didn't tell us that he was going to come home.
Mm.
And we did not recognize him. Even my mom was shocked to see him when he came back home, and we all cried and cried. And then that's how I met my dad. And but I still had questions why we had to struggle. I never got the answer. So the life moved on and on. So what in 2008 I got married. So husband loving with loving husband, and 3 years after, um, I was blessed with a beautiful boy. So life was going happily. Then there was a sudden change. I became possessive about my son. I don't know what happened. I had a fear. If I take him to hospital, he will never come back. I will never bring him back. So I had that fear in my mind. So, but I did not know the answer. Even if he was sick, I would ask any GP to come to my house to see him, but I wouldn't take him to hospital. Never ever. I was too scared, but never knowing the answer why.
Mm.
And then what happened? My father-in-law and mother-in-law, they came to visit us, and then he fell sick over here, and he was admitted in hospital. And I did not have that courage to go to hospital, because if I was going to see him to hospital, I had to take my son with me. But I didn't want to take him. I had a feeling that if I take him, he won't come back. Something will happen to him. I don't want to say those words, but
Mm.
yeah, I'll. And I told my husband, I cannot go to hospital to see your dad. So that's how my husband and my relation got bad.
Oh.
So we had conflict in our relation. He wouldn't understand me, and then I used to cry. There was a conflict. So so many misunderstanding happened just because of that fear.
Right. Right.
And that's how I started seeking for answers. So what's happening? I did not know what's happening. I started
Mm.
to pray. I started to go to Gurudwara and all
Mm.
that, but I was getting confident, but there was no answer. The fear wasn't coming out. The fear
Mm.
was still there. So one day, during that time, my brother-in-law was looking for a girl. He wanted to get married, so he was looking for a girl, and he introduced me to that girl. That girl was in India, Delhi. So
Mm.
she was into past life.
Mm.
She was doing that Serenity Surrender course that time,
Yeah. Serenity
and I
surrender.
shared my fear with her. I did
Mm.
not know she was doing it, so I just said, because we became friends, so I started talking to her. I shared my fear, that I have that fear. I don't know what to do. That's how my husband's relationship is not good with me, because he thinks I'm not looking after his family, but
Mm.
which is not true. I have a
Mm.
fear. And at that time, my mother-in-law, she fell over and she fractured her arm,
Oh
and then
my
she
God.
had to go to hospital. So many things happened in between. I couldn't go to hospital to see her. I thought
Mm.
she's going to come back home anyways, but I just did not want to go. My son was only, I think, a year old,
Mm.
and yeah, I couldn't go. And then my husband wouldn't understand me. So what's
Right.
happening? He was like, you're just lying. You just don't want to go. You just don't
Mm.
want to look after mom. That's all. And then meanwhile, I was talking to my now sister-in-law. So I was talking to her, and she said, okay, let's do, there is a session I can do for you. You will find out the reason.
Mm.
Let's see how you go. I did not believe in past life. I'm like, no, there is nothing like that. It's just, but I don't know the reason. I thought, okay, let's try.
Mm.
So she did a session, and she went to my past life. She figured out that in my past life, I had the same son, and I
Mm.
was very career oriented girl, and I never looked after my son.
Mm.
And I was going to parties and all that. And one day my son fell sick in my past life, and my husband took him to the hospital. And my husband contacted me. I was at the party that time, and my husband
Mm.
contacted me, come back home, he's in hospital, you need to come back. So I
Mm.
did not come back that time.
Mm.
I finished my party and all that. 2 3 hours later, I went to hospital,
Mm.
and I just saw his body there. He
Okay.
wasn't, eh, no, he wasn't alive.
Mm.
So I think I had that fear
Mm.
in my mind that was coming from my past life.
Mm.
And she gave me download something,
Mm.
and then after that, I felt better, but I needed more.
Mm.
I needed something more. So she did another session, and she said she saw me in an aeroplane with my son, and
Mm.
where my son was saying that I didn't want to sit this in aeroplane. You
Mm.
brought me here, and we died. The plane
Mm.
crashed and we
Mm.
died. That's what
Mm.
she told me.
Mm.
And so I was the reason for my son's death
Mm.
twice. So that was the fear I was carrying. And slowly, I realized the fear was just coming out. I'm not anymore that person. I have
Mm.
changed. I took him to hospital. My father-in-law became sick. My father-in-law passed away. Everything happened. I had that confidence. I took him to
Mm.
hospital. I had no fear. And I
Mm.
was surprised to see that like everything just changed with that past
Mm.
life. So then I started to believe in these things. So I wanted to do something, but I know the fear was gone, but the relationship between me and my husband wasn't getting better at all,
Right.
because those miscommunication, misunderstanding was still there.
Mm.
So I wanted to do that course. I asked my sister-in-law, can I come to India and start this course? I want
Mm.
to do it. So in 2017, I went to India, to do past life regression, but I did not get a chance to do it. Somehow I just couldn't do it. But someone encouraged me to do Reiki.
mm, mm,
So I did Reiki level 1 and level 2 from
mm.
there. So that's how I started believing. And then there was another case as well. I had 3 miscarriages,
Okay. Okay.
and after my son. So I from the same person's mentor, my
Mm,
sister-in-law's mentor. I
mm,
took few sessions from him as well,
mm,
and he explained me that because of you did not look after your son in your past life,
mm,
so you just wanted to have one child in your life, just one
mm,
child. You had said, just give me that soul back to me,
mm,
and it's just your belief. You did not want to have a second child. And then after I took those sessions after my third miscarriage,
mm.
and fourth time I conceived, and I have a healthy baby now,
Lovely.
beautiful girl,
Very
and
nice.
she is
Very
21
nice.
months old. And that's how my life changed. I have 2 beautiful children. The second one, I really struggled. I went into depression. I took
Mm,
antidepressants and all that. My husband's relation got bad with just because of those depression and all that.
mhm.
And after that, I started working on, once I had my second child, I started working on my husband and my relationship. And I have a beautiful relationship. We share a good relationship now. I'm so
Wonderful.
happy. This
Wonderful.
has changed my life.
Wonderful. So, Jaswinder, you said that both these sessions, 2 or 3 sessions that were done, obviously you did not go through your past life, right? It was like a kind of a surrogacy. They went through their own kind of meditative practices, and then they connected to your script, with which you have arrived in this world, your soul script, and then they told you what was the past life that you may have lived, right? So, did they even explain to you how it works?
She just explained me that they connect energies. So she was in India when I did, and when
Correct.
I did that session, she was in India and I was in Australia. So we were very far.
Hmm.
And she said she will connect soul and some energies, cosmic energies. Through that, she
Hmm.
will find the answer.
Correct.
Even she was so connected, even when she was taking my session. Even if I was getting anxious or nervous, she would tell me, Jaswinder, you are getting anxious. Just calm down. I cannot feel you. I cannot feel your energy. So I was surprised. How does she know?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
how strong the powers are. I
Hmm.
had no idea how it was working. But first time, of course, first session, I was like, no, because she knew what I was looking for. She gave me the answer. But when I saw the result, yes, I started believing in that.
Right. Right.
So,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
ma'am, this question is for you from, I'm sure all our viewers would want to know. Can you just talk about a little about serenity surrender that she was talking about, Jaswinder?
I don't know much about it, Abhilasha, so I can't talk about the uh, organization, obviously, because I don't know much about the organization. But I think Jaswinder, what Jaswinder has just said about the fact that somebody else, miles apart, connecting to your energetic strain. So does that happen or does that not happen? Now, with obviously her experience, we can definitely say that the person who was connecting to her essence, not her soul, but her essence, was obviously going into a deep sense of meditation, right? And through that meditation, she was experiencing the connection of her essence to Jaswinder's essence.
Right.
Okay, and that can be confirmed with science, because science speaks about what we call quantum entanglement, right? That we are all connected with each other, and we can be millions of miles apart, and yet we can transmit thought. So, what was happening was she was obviously going into a meditative space, connecting to Jaswinder's essence, and reading the Akashic records, because
Okay.
that's really what is happening. She's reading the records of her, and she's opening that particular record which is connected to Jaswinder's problem.
Right.
So,
Right.
for that, the person must have learned some kind of meditative practices, how to go deep inside, how to trust, how to become more intuitive, and how to speak that information. So, that's really what happened with this whole exercise that she did. And of course, Jaswinder has, experienced relief, and I think that's the wonderful part of it, right? So, this is the way you can read the Akashic records of somebody. But you have to learn it, you have to understand it, and then read it, right? So,
Jaswinder,
Jaswinder, post that, you experienced relief. Then what happened? I mean, how did that journey proceed?
So, what happened? As I told you, my dad was living in UK
Hmm?
since 1983, and I came to Australia. Dad was in UK for so long. Mom was in India, brother, sister were in India. So we were all scattered.
Hmm.
So we did not have that bond, not bond, but we were not together. We were not together as a family, never
Hmm.
ever, because we
Hmm.
were always missing dad. So
Hmm.
after sorting out all those things, I wanted to know why we struggled without that, why we were having a life without that. So I connected that person again,
Hmm.
my sister-in-law's mentor. So
Hmm.
I wanted to know the answer. So what is the solution for this? I want my dad to be back home.
Hmm.
So he took another session and he told me, I don't remember the year, which year was it, but he went into my past life. He told me that you were like a soldier and you were in fighting.
Hmm.
You were fighting with so many people, and you never loved your family. You left your family to uh, to live someone else's life, to protect other people, but you never thought about your family.
Hmm.
That's why this is the only reason that you are not connected with your family. So he said you need to take another session to complete this. So I took
Hmm.
another session, so he healed it, and
Hmm.
within a year my dad left UK.
Hmm.
He sold his property there, and he went to India. He said, okay, he decided that he's not going to live in UK anymore. He has earned whatever he wanted to. His family is happy. So suddenly, since 1983, it never came into his mind. And 2019, it came into his mind. This is the time to go back.
Hmm.
And then he went to India. He stayed there for 2 months, and it's because I wanted to stay with him. I wanted to
Hmm.
live with him. I don't know what came into his mind. He's like, Jaswinder, I want to come to Australia to stay
Okay.
with you. And 2019 April, he came here. He stayed with me for a year. So we
Okay.
had all that good time together. And he stayed with mom, he stayed with me, he stayed with brother, sister. So we were all together. That was the happiest moment for us. So that's how that issue was resolved as well. And
Wonderful.
if I go back, if I look now, he's in India
Hmm.
with my family. If he was living in UK, look at, because of the coronavirus and all that, we would have been worried what's happening with that. He's by himself. But that was the time.
Hmm.
He was meant to come back, and he had to come back through this past life
Hmm.
sessions, which I
Hmm.
did. And it has solved all my issues. So there was nothing
Wonderful.
else to do.
Awesome.
All families together back in India, which is I cannot express my feelings. I'm so happy. Mom, dad, brother, sister, everyone is there. I know I'm here, but I'm still happy. At least they are together.
Absolutely. Very nice. Very nice.
Jaswinder,
I had a
as
chance to
you
go to India last year.
Hmm.
So with my dad, mom, brother, sister, I was there. My two kids were there. What else I wanted?
Correct. What
So
else do you want? Yeah.
so
Lovely.
Jaswinder, I
Yeah.
have a
and
question here for you.
yeah, and I
Huh.
started appreciating things after that. So
Yes.
there is a reason for everything. There is a
True.
reason behind everything.
True.
Yeah.
True. True.
So Jaswinder, just for you to ask, wanted to ask you, from a non-believer, you became a believer of past life with all your experiences that happened. And, you know, we are very happy to hear that, you know, you had these life alterations that happened, you know, that got your life into path.
Yeah.
Now, when you came to Dr. Jain's 8-day workshops, tell us about it. What was your experience there?
Experiences were really good. I loved it. Although my life was sorted out, but I had few issues in my life which I wanted to sort it out. I had some fears, I had some health issues, and that's what I wanted. I had some money fear and all that. I wanted to sort that out as well.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः